It's April 18th. It's a beautiful day in Milwaukee, and I can tell you this. We'll go through it at the very end, very briefly, but the spring market, I believe, has sprung, right? Yeah. I know you're feeling it. I know you're seeing it, and we'll help you understand and decipher what it is that I'm seeing within the data that helps me tell that. Okay. Good news is your assets all continue to appreciate. Okay. All right. Here we go, rocking and rolling. We're shuffling a deck a little bit this morning in terms of our normal routine. We'll jump right into it because part of it is we have a guest speaker jumping on here very shortly to talk about an upcoming opportunity available to you guys next week to learn about how to gain listings in the current market environment. So mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives. I'll go through this a little bit deeper here in a second in terms of an upcoming opportunity on May 11th. I would highlight that day on your calendar. Highly recommend it. We'll dig deep a little bit further. So first up, congratulating a handful of people who capped in the month of March. So let's get right into it. First up, I believe for the first time in his career, new to the industry, used to be a very talented chef, made a career change to jump in with his dad, Pete Gossman. Congrats on capping in the month of March. Congrats, Pete. PGJ, Peter Gossman Jr. All right, next up, someone who's had a little bit of an up and down personal backstory a little bit here the last couple months, but despite everything that's gone on and thrown his way, he continues to charge forward. An incredible member on Marcus Auerbach's team, was the rookie of the year last year on teams. Spencer Harvey, congrats on capping. Next up, out in Lake Country, this lady may have been one of the first 5 agents who took the leap of faith into KW Lake Country. I remember the very first time we met her, Karen Trimble brought her into my mom's dining room, and my mom and I sat down with her to help her understand the KW opportunity. Natasha Jambrick, congrats on capping in the month of March. Next one, another one who's been in Lake Country almost since day one, has been an incredible part of the culture and the community out there and is one half of the incredible Bark River Realty team. Congrats to Nicole McGonigal for capping in the month of March. Next up, this is a person who always gives back to our community, is always willing to help lend a hand, is on the contract helpline. Also, if you didn't know this, most recently became a MAPS coach and is coaching agents across the country, incredibly giving of her time, energy, and resources. Congrats to Steph Minnick. Also, I would consider this person to be one of the most iconic people in terms of the way in which they live the KW value proposition in terms of our mission, vision, values, and beliefs and perspectives. Always willing to give back to others, pouring into people, and very quietly leaves surprise and delights to make people's lives in a better spot. Congrats to Sarah Oberbrunner for capping in the month of March. Next up, another agent who's almost basically been with KW since day one, took a total leap of faith when Maureen jumped over to start KW and said, I think you're crazy, but you're my sister, so I'll do it with you anyways. Martha Ola, congrats on capping in the month of March. Yeah. All right, I got 4 more people to celebrate for having capping in the month of March, so stick with me here. Next person, done a variety of things within her professional life. If you haven't gotten to know her personally, I highly recommend it. Very intentional person, someone who has been a very good sounding board for me as I kind of navigate people, and the people are complicated, right? Kathy Shaw, congrats on capping in the month of March. Next up, this person closed 5.7 million in the month of March. Okay. Probably a career record for her. I'm just going to say that, put that out there. Also is a physical therapist. Her husband runs 2 other businesses, is an incredible woman, always giving back of her time. Really great in the culture out in Lake Country. Congrats to Becky Thomas for capping in the month of March. Last 2, again, been with us almost since day one, is always giving of her time, pouring into other people, leads a big team, always willing to help people launch their careers and build their foundation. J9 Warner. Janine, congrats on capping in the month of March. And then lastly, out in TOSA in the innovation office, the king and queen of fun. They lead the TOSA carolers around the holiday time. Really in-depth, great concert goers, world travelers. Last couple of years, they've taken anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks away from their business, and they continue to grow and grow and grow. Congrats to Dan and Sherry Wild for capping in the month of March. All right, so with all that, we've had a lot of training and events happening lately. Why? Because we're helping you navigate the market of the moment. For many of you, you entered a market on the upswing. For a lot of you, you've never felt the market as the tide recedes, right? And so the reason we've poured more heavily into training and education during the last, I would say 30 to 60 days, and we're going to continue to pour into it into the next 90 days, is so that you can find peace in the pace and what it is that you do in order to earn the income that you desire despite market forces or headwinds. Make sense? So with that, we have an opportunity for you next week. Okay. Glover U, which I consider to be the meat and potatoes. I talk about this all the time. They've come for the last several years. We've invited them back. It's April 26th at 9 to 12:30 at the Sheraton Milwaukee Brookfield Hotel. Very similar location to where we hosted Shift into Overthrive that 215 of you attended last week, Thursday. So I've invited the team from Glover U to come on to help you understand what it is that you can expect out of next week's discussion and dialogue around a new market and a new plan and 17 ways to win the summer. One caveat, this is totally different material than what they presented last year. So for those of you who are like, oh, I've done this before, I guarantee you haven't. So with that, the team from Glover U, I'd flip it over to you. Noonan? All right, maybe not. Here's what you need to know. Glover U is coming next week, Wednesday, April 26th from 9 to noon. Interested, you'll receive the registration link in your email later on this afternoon. We'll put it on the Facebook channels as well. It's a new market, new plan, 17 ways to win the summer. The reason why we invite Glover U back is, in my opinion, they bring the meat and potatoes of content and material and things that you can take away from an actionable item. Next week, April 26th from 9 to 12:30. Sound good? Beautiful. All right. With that, wrapping up the April trainings and events calendars, things that you need to pay attention to or things that are coming up. This week, Friday, is the Maureen and Friends, the invite-only discussion and mastermind, typically focused around helping individual agents grow, scale, and create leverage within their lives and their business. So be on the lookout for that invite for April 21st, this week, Friday, at 10 a.m. A few other things that you guys should be paying attention to. We're going to be getting script practice and dialogue over in the innovation office every Wednesday at 9:30. So if you're interested in getting more script practice and role play, feel free to jump into that on Wednesdays. Next up, keys to social media branding, Wednesday, April 19th with our partner Prime Lending. We'll be down in the Southwest Training Room. Also, this will be Wednesday at 10 a.m. on the 19th. They have their head of marketing and social media and digital content will be coming in to help you understand how to play the algorithms. What is the content material you should be posting in order to leverage to create two-way dialogue, as that's the most important aspect of social media, two-way dialogue. So that's Wednesday at 10 a.m. Next up, Scott is also hosting 2 masterminds via Zoom on Wednesday. Grow Your Profit Mastermind, helping you understand how to manage your finances and expenses, along with the Leadership Mastermind, also via Zoom Wednesday at 2 p.m., hosted by Scott. Next up, things also, Fair Hinton, always incredibly giving of their time, talent, and energy, helping you understand how they built a $75 million team in Chicago and last year closed north of $25 million in Milwaukee, what it is that they do and how they do it. So how do we lead gen in the new market? Fill your funnel to grow your business in any market. This is in person this week, Thursday, in the Southwest office from 1 to 2 p.m. Lastly is Cream City. Blake Early and his new venture and what he split off to go start is hosting a Cream City launch party and open an invite to all KW associates this week, Thursday. Join Blake, Gustavo, John Christian as they launch Cream City April 20th from 4 to 7 p.m. at Camp Bar in Shorewood. Here's the one thing I know about Camp Bar in Shorewood. What happens at Camp Bar in Shorewood? stays at Camp R in Shorewood. So join Blake. Join Blake. Yeah, Brad, you've never been there or served me ever. Join Blake, Gustavo, and the team to help celebrate and launch their new business as they continue to forge a new path along the mortgage market and one of our preferred vendors in the Milwaukee area. Sound good? All right, beautiful. So getting back to our mission, vision, values, beliefs, and perspectives. Here's one of the things I challenge you with. April 15th in Major League Baseball, I don't know if you know this, they celebrate Jackie Robinson Day, okay? And one of my favorite quotes, you know, I'm a quote person, it makes me think. I enjoy things that make me think, right? Is a life is not important except in the impact it has on other lives. Okay, I told you earlier today, I would highly encourage you to mark your calendars for May 11th. Okay, here's why. And I'm going to go through a history here, and I want you to notice something. Take a look at as I go through a history of pictures, take a look at the people in the pictures. And what do you notice? Okay, this was 2019. We had a group of about 70 people that went and build houses in, I believe they call it the Century City area of Milwaukee. We built, I think, 3 or 4 homes in a day, right? And 2019, it was a little drizzly, a little rainy, a little cold, but you can see joy and excitement. Okay, then we all know what happened in 2020. Okay, 2020 happened. We couldn't necessarily host Red Day. And for those of you who are like, what the hell is Red Day? Don't worry, I'll tell you what it's all about. Okay, we couldn't necessarily host Red Day. So what did we do? We hosted a food bank. We hosted a food drive where we collected food for the River West Food Pantry. Okay, in a week's time, we collected 1,607 pounds of food, which fed 100 members of our community. The reason why this was important in 2020 is they had lost anywhere between 60 to 70,000 pounds of food donation during COVID. And we were able to make a tiny piece of it, right? And through our efforts on Red Day, through a virtual platform and engaging our clients and what we can do to serve our community, we had, at the time, we were the first group to conduct a virtual food drive, and it was a smashing success for the River West Food Pantry. Then in 2021, we came back and we did something outside because we were still trying to figure out how to navigate what was going on. And a lot of nonprofit organizations still weren't allowing volunteers within their spaces. And we found an incredible organization through Kevin Matson, a Lake Country agent, around Zacharias Acres. And it was all around providing opportunity for those with disabilities or special needs to get out into the world and provide them an opportunity to see the world and have access to the world in ways in which that they may not otherwise had. And you can see here, again, we had 50 to 60 people that were out in Oconomowoc who put in a ton of work to help them get ready for the season to host an incredible group of people. Then last year, we had about 100 people. 2022, same thing. We went back to Zacharias Acres. Again, a lot of nonprofits were still a little bit timid around allowing people into their space. But here's the reason why I showed you the pictures, is if you really look at the pictures and the people and the faces, I think what you see is the joy that it gives in when you give back. What you give in this world is what you'll get in this world. Okay. And what I love that we do when we host this in May, it's always the second Thursday in May, is it's always during our peak season. Okay. It's always during when people are probably and likely the busiest or the most stressed. And here's what I tell you. Look at the faces and look at the energy and look at the excitement. And there's not anything that we do that drives more of a relief or a pressure decompressor than what we do on Red Day and how we impact the community. So May 11th, 2023 is Red Day in Milwaukee. It's Renew, Energize, and Donate. And this year, we changed it up slightly differently to allow you to pick your own adventure and to make an impact in a variety of different ways. So today, you'll be getting an email along with a registration link for 3 to 4 organizations that we plan to make an impact on this year. One, we're going back to Zacharias Acres. Why? They need a ton of help. For those of you that have been there, it's a huge property. and they need help getting it ready for the springtime. They also have the largest amount of capacity. It can host the most amount of people. So if you're interested in working a full day outside under the sun with your peers, Zacharias Acres is one of the adventures that we have available to you on Red Day. Second, we have the United Way Diaper Bank. Okay, there is a diaper bank in Milwaukee, and there is a diaper bank in Waukesha. Again, these will be more of 2 to 3 hour time slot windows. We tried to choose locations closest to where our associates live so that you can make an impact. Can't give up a whole day on May 11th? Great. Choose a window in which that you can do it. There's morning windows and afternoon windows. We'll be helping the United Way Diaper Bank sort baby essentials, bring together volunteers to create packages of much needed disposable diapers and essential baby items for local parents and their infants. Okay. The shifts in windows are 9 to 11 or 1 to 3 located in Waukesha or Milwaukee. All the details we'll get to you. Now, the third adventure you can choose is something that I've talked about a little bit and have invited you into our world is Axe Housing. Axe is an incredible program that helps people coach, consult people into what it is that they need to do and helping our community of Milwaukee drive the homeownership gap, help drive the homeownership gap down. In this, Axe gives away when new homeowners become homeowners through their program. They provide families with a welcome basket, and they have a need where we can go to Axe Housing to help build the welcome baskets, and we will have 3 2-hour shifts throughout the day for you to stop into Axe Housing, learn a little bit more about their organization, but there are 3 2-hour shifts. Sound good? So you have 3 opportunities. 1, work a full day. It's good for the soul. I highly, highly encourage it. Get out underneath get some fresh air, get some vitamin D. Zacharias Acres, we can take 100, 200, 300, 400 people. We'll take whatever we can get. 2, can't commit a full day and want to work something and still give back into our community. You have 2 options, United Way Diaper Bank or the Axe Housing Welcome Basket Committee. Okay. Both have options of windows. And if you want to do a morning window at one and an afternoon window in another, that's the beauty of the choose your own adventure for Red Day this year. Sound good? Beautiful. I'd encourage you, the reason why I shared these, and I've talked about this, is don't lose sight of the fact of what it is, the impact that we can make on other people when we leverage our community and our squad, and what it can do for you in a moment of time when I know usually pressure is at its highest, when you feel as if you need to get deals done and you need to keep moving. But I also see the byproduct of when people pour into Red Day and how it is that they can show up for them, their families, their clients, their friends, their kids, and what it can do for you. Make sense? So be on the lookout for Red Day details, May 11th, 2023. Full day, half day, whatever it is that may be. Cool? Lastly, what we will also be doing is we're collecting food donations for food pantries. Can't make a Red Day thing, but you want to engage your clients. Great client touch. A great way to engage your clients through lead generation. We'll be collecting food pantry donations to support food pantries closest to our 4 market centers. So the River West Food Pantry, TOSA Cares for the Innovation Office, the Heartland Area Food Pantry, as well as the New Berlin Food Pantry. So if you'd like to engage where you can't give up the day on May 11th, but you want to be able to engage your clients, we'll be collecting food and then donating them to these 4 locations based on the ones that are closest to the market centers. All of this detail will be coming out to you today. Sound good? Beautiful. And with that, or if you don't want to wait time, here's the QR code if you'd like to choose to register in the time slots that are available. Beautiful. All right, with that, we have a couple KW org and people announcements. Okay, first up, if you hadn't seen it, our own in TOSA, Caitlin. If you didn't know, Caitlin is, first of all, in January or February, she did the Berkey, which if you don't know what the Berkey is, it's a marathon on cross-country skis. Then she decides, oh, that's not crazy enough. I'm going to go not only run a marathon, I'm going to qualify for Boston. And then yesterday ran the Boston marathon, finished in 3 hours and 43 minutes. You talk about discipline and approach. It's incredible. What I love about Caitlin, she's also a former UW rower, near and dear to my heart, right? And our coach in UW rowing would always say, and I would text her this like before the Boston or before Berkey, is you have to perform independently of how you feel. Perform, and he would yell, bark this at 5:30 in the morning. We'd probably be hungover after coming home from the KK. And like, he'd yell, Charlie, you have to perform independently of how you feel. And it's a good motto. It's a good motto, but congrats, Caitlin, for performing independently of how you feel. I saw what that midway stretch did to you and the ups and downs of the hills. And congrats on finishing the Boston Marathon. Also with that, last week, Wednesday, I sent out a note, and we have a new leader to introduce to our squad and our KW community, Bernie Weiss Rhodes. Bernie has been in the industry for 20 to 25-ish plus years. Incredibly connected in the community, very involved in our local association, National Association of Realtors, a lot of different ways in which that she's give back to our community. Most recently was over with Compass and is now going to be leading the team out in Lake Country. So Bernie, welcome. Give us a little bit of the cliff notes as to who you are. Tune in.
We're coming.
You're good.
So what am I on? Hi, I'm Bernie. I've been in real estate for about 20 years with a couple different companies, managing, selling. Super excited to be at KW, and that's really all I got. Thanks, Charlie.
So she was so excited about coming on and introducing herself to the group that I said, you know what, don't worry. We have a way to fix that. So Willis had a little conversation with you to give a little bit more insight as to who she is.
Hi, Bernie. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm so excited to talk to you, and I'm really excited for the Market Center to get to know you a little bit more. What are 3 words that best describe you?
I would say driven, honest to a fault, and energetic.
Yes. My next question. Who inspires you and why?
Okay, so the person that I've always looked up to was my dad, and I'm gonna try to get through this. His work ethic, sense of humor, love for people. He just had a lust for knowledge and the greatest attitude. And he just passed away in January. So I just always strive to be like him. And now that he's gone, I just want to live my life in a way that would make him proud.
Yes, absolutely. I'm so sorry for your loss. And
No,
I know you're going to carry on his memory, and it sounds like you've already got a great plan. And I think you're going to honor him and show, the world like how great he really was through your actions. What's your why?
So my why is my grandson. He lives in Wichita, so I don't get to see him very often. So I love to travel to go see him. But then the other why is I really like to travel. I love taking hiking vacations solo to Sedona, Arizona.
Wow, I hear a lot of great things about Arizona, but I love that even more that you just do solo ones. Good for you for taking care of you.
Yeah, the hiking trails are amazing. So yeah, that's my favorite thing to do is travel to Arizona. Boring.
And that's not boring at all. That's called self-care, I think, and you're doing it. You're winning. Is there anything else you want to share? Anything?
I'm easy to talk to, and I'm a good listener. I think that's probably one of the most important things, is that I'll just sit and listen and without judgment.
You know what's interesting is I sat near you at the end of the Shift into Overdrive event last week, and the questions that you had for the 2 presenters at the end, the questions were fabulous, but I also thought like, wow, you were really tuned in the way that you asked your questions. I was like, ooh, she's onto something. And I could definitely tell that you know how to read the room. You know how to, you're definitely listening and you're taking the right notes. And I'm super, super excited for what you're going to bring to the table.
Thank you.
Bernie, you're welcome. I'm so excited that, you know, there's an amazing, another leader in our team and that you're on board. And gosh, I look forward to really getting to connect with you more and more and getting to, you know, build the Market Center together. So I'm going to wrap this up.
Oh,
Right? I'm like, yes, kings, yes, queens, let's do this.
So, so as you are out and about in the KW community, you ever make your way out to the KW Lake Country office and you see Bernie, do me a favor, go give her a hug, give her a warm welcome her into our squad. She's here to serve you, has an incredible wealth of knowledge, and is ready to dive in to help coach, consult, and support our KW community in a broad way. So next time you're out in Lake Country or you're at a KW event and you see Bernie, give her a hug, welcome her to the fam. Cool. With that, here's the latest and greatest updated org chart as it relates to across the different market centers available to you guys, just so you can put faces and names and contact information as to see how we're here to support you and help you and where the team is and where they're located. Cool. Beautiful. Welcome, Bernie. We'll get you on the team meeting a little bit more comfortable. Don't worry. We'll throw you into the fire. All right. Having said all that, here we go. Tech Tuesday. Vranik, what do these guys need to be paying attention to as it relates to updates and things on the platform that they may not know about?
All right, good morning, everybody. So I know a lot of you attended the Shift into Overthrive event last week. And so Matt and Donnie provided a lot of information just with how to, build and manage your business. But they also talked a lot about some updates coming to the Command platform, to the app, updates that are currently available, things that are coming soon. So I just wanted to dive into a couple of those updates that are currently available, just because a lot of those are really exciting updates. They're really going to help you with managing your business, whether it's through Command or the Command app. So I'm going to dive into just a few of those that are currently available. So one of them is the lead management tool. And what this does is really help you automate your lead follow-up. So if anyone has created a Facebook or Instagram ad campaign through Command, you already know that you can automatically tag the leads that are coming into the system and set them up on Smart Plans. So essentially what this does is it allows you to do that for any outside leads that funnel directly into Command. So for example, if you receive a lead from your website overnight, you can automatically set it up where that lead is then tagged and then assigned to a Smart Plan without you having to wake up and manually do it or do it the next day. So it's very simple and straightforward. You go into your settings, click on lead management. You can title the lead rule. You select your lead source. So if you want specifically any leads that you get from a landing page or your KW agent website, you can select as many lead sources as you'd like. You can select all. You can apply tags. You can create custom tags from this screen. And then you can assign it to a Smart Plan. So if you've created your own custom lead follow-up Smart Plan, or if you've grabbed something from the Smart Plan library, you can configure all of those settings within this lead management tool within Command. So really exciting stuff. I mean, we talk about automation all the time. This is just helping with that and helping you automate even further. The other update that got released a couple weeks ago is you can now create your own saved search based on school boundaries. So I know you have a lot of clients that are maybe looking for a very specific school district. So you can literally go into your app at your website and you can type in Cumberland Elementary School in Whitefish Bay, and you can set up a saved search based on that school district and any other search criteria, price point, bedroom, bathroom count, things like that. So your client can then get those automated emails, then directing them to your app and your website. So setting up saved searches is something that your client can do on the app themselves, or you can do it on the back end within Command. So just very simple but exciting updates as well in regards to the search. And this is something I touched on a couple of weeks ago, but I think it's just a really important update to mention again. And I know Matt and Donnie mentioned it last week at the event as well, but you can now import contacts from your phone into Command directly from the Command app. There's no setup needed. There's no field mapping. You simply click into your contacts from the Command app. You have an import button in the upper right corner, and it allows you to select either manually certain contacts from your phone to import, or you can select all to import your entire list of phone contacts into Command. And you can actually do this vice versa. And this is something that has always been a feature of the Command app. If you have somebody in your Command database and you want to add them into your phone contacts, you can do that as well. So just really simple stuff that is going to make, I think, your lives easier when you are managing your database and you're lead generating and you're, building up your database. It's going to allow you to really manage this a lot better. If you have not downloaded the KW Command app, I highly recommend that you do. Even if you are not using Command for your database, it's still going to allow you to manage your opportunities. So we're all required to upload an opportunity and submit documents for our transactions through Command. Having the Command app is going to allow you to manage those opportunities from your phone. So scan the QR code, download the KW Command app. The login screen is actually a lot simpler now. If you forgot your login, you can now do forgot password from the login screen. I know that was something that a lot of people were asking about, and just, again, very simple updates, but it's going to make your lives a lot easier. So very excited about that as well. Now diving into the seminar playbook again this week for our marketing masterminds. So this week, Thursday over Zoom at 11, we are talking about the kind of driving attendance to, let's say you're holding a first-time home buyer seminar, how you can create marketing materials in order to drive attendance. And then we're wrapping that up next week with how to host the seminar, how to do lead follow-up, post-seminar, and things like that. So April was all about that seminar playbook. We're kind of rolling through all of those playbooks each month to kind of go into detail and how to kind of master each one of those. And then finally, if you are unable to attend anything that's over Zoom, whether it's marketing masterminds or contract training, I know Jared from the MLS was on contract training yesterday and we had a good turnout, but if you missed that, it's now uploaded to our YouTube channel so that you can watch that back. So great opportunities to learn more about the MLS. If you're a brand new agent and you need to learn about the MLS or just need a quick refresher, it was a great training with Jared yesterday during contract training. So check that out on our YouTube channel. Everything else that's on Zoom is uploaded to this channel, grouped up by playlist, titled, dated, everything. So it's all organized for you guys to check out. So thank you.
You know what the beauty of the YouTube channel is? Everything lives on there. So if you missed it, you can run it back and you can play it at like 1.5x speed. So if something is 40 minutes long, you need to get it on in 20 minutes, and some people talk too fast or too slow, you can change the speed, but everything is on there. It's an incredible resource for you to learn from. With that, I'm flipping it over to Sheriff Reed. Sheriff Reed, what do these guys need to be paying attention to around fair housing reminders? Because you want to know the fastest way to sink your ship, your brand and your reputation. Ignore fair housing reminders. So, Sheriff Reed, what do these guys need to be paying attention to?
Good morning. Thank you, Charlie. Morning, everybody. Yeah, it's a necessary reminder every year. That's why they have Fair Housing Month for all of us in the real estate business. We are faced with these challenges in the Disabilities Act and fair housing. acts, both the state and federal. So I want to just make sure that we are reminded every year in April of what we have to pay attention to. So the act in the Federal Fair Housing Act says it makes it unlawful. This isn't a real estate no-no, it's a law to print or publish any notice, statement, or advertisement with respect to the sale or rental, and it does include renting, of a dwelling that indicates these three words are important: preference, limitation, or discrimination, based on the following protected clauses. So it's inclusivity or exclusivity is what we have to pay attention with these protected classes. And a reminder what the protected classes are. Federal, across the entire nation, the protected class of race, color, religion, sex, handicap, familial status, and national origin. Wisconsin has tacked on their own additional protected classes of sexual orientation, marital status, lawful source of income, age, and ancestry. So it's not just race, it's not just disabilities, which are the more common thoughts about fair housing. It includes a lot of separate protected classes that we have to be aware of because we're showing houses, selling houses with people involved in these protected classes. So next. The American Disabilities Act, and I put this sentence at the bottom to remind you, the most fair housing violations across the country is due to violations with handicap or disabilities. People would think it's more race that is the most common violation, but it is not caring or attending to your responsibilities as a real estate agent with people that need disability protection. Real estate agent has the responsibility, not the client, the agent, to show reasonable accommodations. You may have to hire a handicap bus to transport. You may have to get special hearing needs for telephone conversations. A real estate agent has the responsibility to show reasonable modifications. You may have to ask for some kind of ramp or entrance into a property to be able to get them to see the properties. So it is a responsibility you have according to the American Disabilities Act and the fair housing violations. So the next slide, you're going to have buyers who are honest in their questions, ask you questions, but how you respond is very important and could lead to, as Charlie said, sinking your ship, which also translates to losing your license and paying a hefty fine. So make sure that you avoid characterizing neighborhoods, residential districts, or school districts. And when Lindsay was just talking about school searches, make sure that you are not inadvertently using school districts to actually steer into certain neighborhoods. By ethnicity or religion, religious or racial composition. So it's a lot to hold on to your head when you are meeting with clients and showing them and getting them into the house that they're looking for. Instead, the best thing is to give them this link. This is the Census Bureau link. It gives all kinds of information on population, all the different statistics that a home buyer may be interested in looking at certain neighborhoods. So you can also direct them to the community websites. Go on the Mequon website, and there's a lot of information in there if they're looking in Mequon or Shorewood or downtown. Police departments can have statistics on crime and things like that that you cannot really communicate yourself, but you can direct them to finding the places that they can get this information. So it's not coming from you, it's coming from a proper source. And the last one, this afternoon at 2 o'clock on Zoom, we're having a rerun of the unconscious bias in real estate. It's an excellent presentation. It takes you back a little bit because the unconscious part is what's important. You may not think that you're being biased in a certain situation, but you really are. And then the Fairhaven test, which we've talked about for a couple of years now, you can go on to fairhaven.realtor and put in your your NRDS number, and you can take the test. It is fascinating to take this test. It's a real eye-opener on what you perceive to be fine, perceive to be straightforward, but you find out that actually some of your reactions to this test, you are showing a bias or you're showing some kind of a leaning. So prep yourself, protect yourself, and just know the fair housing. I'm going to bring it up every April. And so we're taking advantage next Monday on the contract training. I'm going to be doing a more in-depth exercise for the hour of 12 to 1 on fair housing. And we're going to have different scenarios and sort of put out there, how would you react? What would be your response? So,
Sheriff Reed, thank you for the reminders. If you haven't seen the Newsday documentary that was undercover and exposed people for unconscious bias, it's an eye-opening hour of your time. And I'll tell you, the Fairhaven.realtor training really made me challenge and think. The way in which that I thought I responded was appropriate was actually maybe inappropriate, right? And you have to think about these things because you can get yourself caught in scenarios that could put yourself in a position to not make a living through real estate because of an unconscious decision or an unconscious way in which that you communicated. So you have to think about it and make it a part of your practice. And there are ways and resources that we have available to you in which they can challenge the way you think so that it can challenge the way you act. Make sense? Beautiful. Sheriff Reed, signing off. Thank you. All right, guys. So March awards, wrapping it up with March awards, then I'll finish with the market dynamics of what's going on. So let's jump right into it. Home Run Club, to me, in my opinion, I've shared this every single month. It's the most important club that you can make. One listing taken, one contract written, one contract closed. Handful of people call out. Amy Dorn, maybe in their first 60 days in real estate. Amy Dorn, congrats. Ashley Meyer and Randy Lee, the tag teaming duo, Becky Thomas, Damara Bolton, Fred Seeley, Gerardo, Jeff Johns, Jill Fink, Jordan Tybinko, Lori Sroke, Melissa Bradley, Mike Langenhall, Sarah Hughes, Shawnee, Teresa Brown, Susan Fellows, Tammy Mayhew, along with a host of your regular casting crew. Congrats on a home run club in the month of March. $1 Million Month Club in the month of March. Handful of people I want to call out: Angela Funk, Betsy Williamson, Julie Litkin, Lindsay Andrews, Ross Treffert, along with a host of others. Congrats on a $1 Million Month in the month of March. Next up, agents who are on teams based on GCI to recognize those that are on teams. Top 10 for the month of March: Martha Ola, Katie Falk, Janine Werner, Kathleen Rosenheimer, Sue Nikolic, Kathy Shaw, Steph Miller, Elena Zeman, Katie Hart, Stephanie Minnick, Ross Treffert, Megan Stallay, Shannon Schultz, Blake McKinney, Catherine Egelhoff. Congrats on top GCI of those on teams in the month of March. Next up, volume percentage increase this March versus last year. Shout out to the top 10 who had the huge jump in March of this year versus last year. Nada, Mike, Becky, Judy Tanis, Erica Morrison. Congrats, Erica. Justin Zunker, Say, Courtney Williams, Shawnee, and Deanne Hansen. Congrats on killer margins. Here we go, March individual volume. I gave you a little teaser earlier. Becky Thomas coming in at 5.7 million out in Lake Country. Congrats, Becky. Jill Fink having a great March. Lindsay Andrews, Julie Litkin, Betsy Williamson, Tammy Herpel, Lori Soroke, Lisa Eastman. Shout out to Lisa Eastman, Callie Adler, Reardon, Oberbrunner, Carla Florence, Doreen Drummel. By the way, I was down in Naples for vacation, and I met up with Doreen Drummel, She kicked my ass in pickleball. It was, I'll tell you, if you play pickleball and you want a real workout, I mean, I was on the pickleball court and Doreen was just drilling forehands in my chest. It was incredible. Congrats on individual for March. All right, next up, team volume, JSG leading the way at 18.4. Falk, Groove, and Gallagher at 13.8. Shout out to Karen Flanagan and the team and Flanagan Group at 2.4. PPG at 2.2. Champagne at 1.8. Miller Marriott, Root River, Double Bolt, Fernwood, Thrive, The Wilds, Desties, a key home, On Point, Team Trimble, rounding out $1 million months in the month of March for the teams. Next up, year to date, market gives you volume, agents control their units. Nick Fetting leading the way so far year to date with 12 units. Congrats, Fetting. Woo! Lindsay Andrews, Lori Srope, Kristen Stahulik, Sarah Oberbrunner, Kathleen Clausen. I see you, Kathleen. Congrats. Nikki Kunik, Jill Fink, Joey Carini, Betsy, Bridget, Melissa, Callie, Fred, and Ethan rounding out individual agents year to date units. Next up, year to date individual volume. Becky Thomas did in her entire year in 1 month. Lindsay Andrews, Betsy, Bridget, Sarah, Julie, Brian Pat. Congrats, Brian Pat, Kristen Stahulik, Annie Stabler, Nick Fetting, Jill Fink, Tammy Herpel, Kathleen, Nikki, Melissa, Demara, Lori, Christiane, Mara, and Catherine rounding out individual volume so far year to date. Team units. JSG leading the way at 70 with FRG at 35, SRG at 19, Duval, Thrive, Nicollet, Cluster, Fernwood, On Point, Root River, Champagne, Flanagan Group, Dusty's team, Enlighten, in KG. I see you out there with that $1 million weekend. Congrats. Fair Hinton, Gallagher Lake Country, Miller Marriott, A Key Home, and Kindred Real Estate team with 6 units so far for the top teams year to date in units. And here you are for year-to-date team volume through the month of March across the entire group of teams. It's a great start to the year, and a lot of people are having a lot of success despite the headwinds, okay? Now, let me help you understand what's going on, and we'll wrap this thing up. Here's your weekly market insights. I'm not going to go too in-depth because I don't want to overwhelm you, and yet I think you guys feel it. I'm just going to help you understand what's going on. Cool. All right. New units coming to the market. Why is this important? Okay. The latest 24-week average is 363 new units that are coming to the marketplace. For the last effective 6 weeks, we've been consistently over 400 new units. Okay. 450, 444, 416, 423, 414, 428. Why is this good news? You can't sell houses if there isn't any inventory. Okay, so that we're seeing the tide rising on new inventory coming in April, all positive news. Now, how does this show up? Here's the interesting thing. Okay, this is the showing time activity within the marketplace across the state of Wisconsin. Now, southeastern Wisconsin drives the lion's share of that activity. A couple things to note. One, we have an Easter mismatch. Okay. 1 week earlier this year versus last year, so something to pay attention to. But again, I want to reiterate to you, demand has not softened despite the rate environment. You need to pay attention to that. Demand has not softened despite the rate environment. People are just adjusting what it is that they are seeking or searching. So stay in the game with your buyers, and guess what? The old, "Ooh, it's going to get easier," isn't the truth. You all know it and feel it and see it. Okay, manage expectations accordingly and be proactive in your communication. How is this then showing up with new listings that are coming to the marketplace? The sales absorption rate. So this is the percentage of inventory that goes under contract in a given week. Last week, 13.5% of the inventory went under contract last week alone. It was the highest sales absorption rate one single week in 2023 so far. It's almost nearly 45, maybe 50% higher than the 24-week average. Okay. This is telling me buyers are getting into home. They're navigating the rate market effectively. As inventory comes to the marketplace, people are getting deals together. Guess what? You also know this. price it per square foot continues to appreciate so far this year at around 9.6% in southeastern Wisconsin. The assets are appreciating. The assets are appreciating. So time in the market beats timing the market. Okay. Time in the market beats timing the market. The lack of waiting in getting buyers into the buyer pool or sellers getting into that next asset, they're losing faster on the loss of appreciation over time, faster than they are and where the rate environment is. Okay. Time in the market beats timing the market, sales absorption rate. Here you go. Now, this is units under contract. Last week, we had our highest units under contract in southeastern Wisconsin so far in 2023, 430 units that went under contract. That's almost about a 40% increase over the latest 24-week average. That's why I say spring has sprung. We're seeing it.
I don't think Bill's a member.
Thanks. Got you, Emily Fair. So, got it. Perfect. All right. For sale inventory. You can text her and give her shit if you'd like. All right. For sale inventory, 3,196, still incredibly suppressed. It's a function of homes that are coming onto the market are coming off just as fast. Okay. It's just the function of where we are. And we've been here before. It's kind of, quite frankly, the market that we've been in for the last several years. We know how to navigate it. We know how to get through it. Okay. There's the weekly market of the moment update on a per weekly basis. Spring has sprung. Sales absorption is happening. Demand has not subsided. Time in the market beats timing the market. If you need help getting people out of the homes in order to create inventory, it's helping them understand, get into that next place that you desire, because you're missing out on appreciation gains, and the appreciation gains on your balance sheet is ultimately what they're searching for. A really, really successful real estate developer once told me this. Okay. He said, too many people chase cash flow. The really most successful developers chase appreciation. So if you think about your real estate as an asset on your balance sheet, people should be chasing appreciation, not cash flow. Now, there's nuances to that as it relates to your clients and consumers. Everybody's situation is different, but if you really want to grow wealth, chase appreciation. With that, it's a beautiful day in Milwaukee, guys.